Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Paddington Writing. Today we are going to talk about advantage and disadvantages essay, and I am Alan. So first of all, let's talk about the definition of advantages and disadvantages essay. What is advantages and disadvantages essay? Answer, right? Whether the benefit of something outweighs disadvantages or vice versa. So when you write advantages and disadvantages essay, don't get confused between this essay and a classification essay. Actually, this is one of the opinion essay that we want your opinion on a specific topic. It is not just list advantages and disadvantages of given topic. So let's talk about first of all essay format. There are two essay formats that you can choose according to your own knowledge. In introduction and the conclusion is must for all essays, and there are 3 body paragraphs. In a first format, in a body paragraph 1, you may talk about advantages, maybe first advantage, and in a body paragraph 2, you may talk about second advantages of the given topic, and in body paragraph 3, you have to talk about the first disadvantages. So the body paragraph 1 and a body paragraph 2 is advantages, and a body paragraph 3 is disadvantages. So as everybody knows, introduction normally consists of general statement and thesis statement. After this, you have to list 2 advantages and 1 disadvantages, and you come to a conclusion. And as I mentioned in earlier lessons, conclusion also consists of, what is it? Conclusion signal, right? Thesis statement, summary, and your final thought. And when you look at the right side of the slide, you can see the second format of advantages and disadvantages essay. And body paragraph 1, you may talk about the advantages, the first or second advantage, and this body paragraph 2 and 3, you are supposed to talk about the disadvantages. Conclusion also, right, is also same. You talk about, right, you write your thesis statement, and you have to write summary and your final thought. So in the exam or in your academic essay or in your college essay, which format should I choose? This is a big question here, right? Don't get confused. For example, when you look at the left side, right? Left side, the first format of advantages and disadvantages essays, you can see body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2 is advantages and body paragraph 3 disadvantages, which means actually you know more things about advantages of some specific given topic. So probably in the first format of this essay, you are going to talk about more about advantages, less disadvantages. Probably you believe advantages, right? Advantages of the given specific topic overweight it is disadvantages. And on the right side of the slide, there's a second format of advantages and disadvantages essay. As you can see in the body paragraph 1, you talk about advantages. However, in body 2 and 3, you talk about disadvantages, which means you know more things, right? Much more things about disadvantages of given topic, but you know less about advantages. Probably in the second paragraph, you are talking about, right? Disadvantages actually, right? Disadvantage actually overweights its advantages. So according to your own knowledge and your brainstorming section, you choose, right? You choose either, right? You choose either the first format or second format. So let's talk about it one by one in that case. First of all, introduction paragraph. It doesn't matter in any essays, in college or academic essay, you must write an introduction. General statement. What is general statement, guys? And what you are going to talk about in this paragraph. So general statement is normally paraphrasing of the given statement. For example, in exam they will ask you, right? You are asked to write an essay on the advantages of online lessons, right? So you please do not use the same vocab like advantages. Try to use pros, right? Positive points, right? Try to paraphrase the given statement and write general statement. Of course, you can add your general knowledge to this specific topic. Then thesis statement. So thesis statement, this is your main idea. So according to your thesis statement, we understand what you are going to talk about in the body 1, 2, 3, and the last one. So this is introduction paragraph. So thesis statement tell you clearly state what your opinion is. This is extremely important, right? In the thesis statement section of your introduction, right? Clearly state what your opinion is. Which means, right, do advantages outweigh the disadvantages or vice versa? If you do not state this, clearly state this in your thesis statement, it is very unclear, it's ambiguous for the readers to understand what your opinion is. So, there are several expressions that I find for you to use for your first topic sentence. So, in the body paragraph 1, you're going to write advantages, so you may start like this. The first advantage of the given specific topic is, for example, the first advantage of online lesson is, so your idea here, and there are many advantages to some topic, online lessons, wearing a mask, and one of them is, and next one is the positive aspect of online lesson or TV lesson, which we are doing at the moment, are 1, 2, 3. You can list the advantages or positive aspects, and the positive or good or plus points include, so again you put your own idea, right, of advantages of specific topic. For example, you can also use different expressions. Another positive aspect is, another benefit is, another advantage is, an argument in favor of, right? You have this verb ing to talk about your advantages by using these expressions. I want to remind you something here. So if you choose to write advantages in the first body paragraph and advantages again in the second body paragraph, do not use the same expressions, right? Do not use the same language. For example, in your body paragraph 1, you start your sentence, the first advantage of online lesson is, so your idea here, and do not start in the second paragraph, the second advantage of this. So in order to make your writing more dynamic, try to use something different. For example, in the first body paragraph you use, the first advantage of online lesson is, it is convenient, and in the second body paragraph in your first sentence, the positive or plus points include, so it looks really dynamic, at the same time it is really attractive to the reader. Okay? Next one is disadvantages. So what is disadvantages? And there are disadvantages, as everybody knows. There are a lot of things, negative points, right? Negative aspects, drawbacks, cons, right? These are, or minus points, right? Minus points are disadvantages, something not good for us. You may use these expressions in your body paragraph to make your writing more dynamic. The first one, for example, the first disadvantage of online lesson is, it is, right, scheduled according to teachers' schedule, for example. There are many negative aspects, and one of them is also your idea here. Next one is the drawbacks of something are, and you have several disadvantages. You can also use this expression. The negative or minus points include A, B, C. So your idea there. Another disadvantage is, for example, one of the major disadvantages is the fact that, this is my favorite expression, right? This is my favorite expression, favorite sentence. So one of the major disadvantages is the fact that, and a negative consequence, right, or effect or influence of given topic, online lesson, right, using public transport or using private transport, and the negative consequence of, for example, at the moment, going out on the street, right, when the curfew is imposed. Again, a downside of online lesson is, right, also the frequent criticism of online lesson is, for example, there is no group discussion. If there's a group discussion, it's not that dynamic enough. Again, an argument against the topic is, also you can use these expressions to make your writing, right, more attractive to the reader, and it looks really dynamic. So again, I want to remind you here, if you want to choose the second one in the body paragraph 2 and the body paragraph 3, if you want to write disadvantages, do not use the same expression again and again. Try to use different sentences. For example, in your first body paragraph, second body paragraph, for example, you want to talk about disadvantages or negative points, you may use like the negative points include 1, 2, so your idea. In a second or next or following disadvantages paragraph, use something different, use some different expressions. For example, one of the major disadvantages is the fact that, for example, use different expressions to make your writing more attractive and dynamic. All right, these are all about expressions here, and let's go ahead with the conclusion. As we mentioned, first of all, you have to list the advantages and the disadvantages. Then, which do you think outweigh, right? Which do you think outweigh the other, right? So you have to list advantages and disadvantages in a body paragraph, and in a conclusion sentence, conclusion paragraph, you have to put your idea clearly. So which one do you support? So for example, there's three sentences I put here as an example sentence. You can use it for your conclusion paragraph. The benefits or advantages are far more than the disadvantages, or the disadvantages are far more than the positive aspect in this case. Also, even though there may be one or two disadvantages to this issue, the advantages far outweigh them. So according to your own understanding, own knowledge, right? According to your own understanding and own knowledge, you may choose one of the expressions here to make your writing more attractive and maybe interesting to read. Otherwise, there are tons of papers, for example, there are tons of academic articles, college articles, right, online, if you're a blogger, for example. If you write just monotone sentences, same sentence again and again in each paragraph, which is really, really, how can I say it, like, not satisfactory, and it doesn't attract me, also other people at all. So, there's one example topic I found. So we're going to talk about this a little bit, right? For example, the topic is, in the last decade, there has been a great increase in the number of variety of online courses available to adults. This has been welcomed as a great opportunity by many students. However, other students see these courses as less effective than classroom teaching. So this is a good example that what we are doing at the moment. So you have background experience, you have background knowledge, you have general knowledge about online courses. So in this example essay, we are going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages, and we are going to weigh them, which, right, outweighs the other. So the question is, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of studying at an online course? Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So in your essay, there are two things. Sometimes you just see only red part in your exam or in your college writing, or sometimes you see both of them together. So in the first one, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of studying an online course? The topic is actually, the red section is classification essay question, right? Actually. So we learn how to write classification essay. So you just list advantages and disadvantages. At the end, you write your thesis statement and your final thoughts, your suggestion, recommendation to the topic. But this essay, advantages and disadvantages, is different. Last question is important. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Which means you're supposed to write advantages, right? Both advantages and disadvantages. At the end, you have to come to a clear conclusion. So, which one outweighs the other? This is extremely important. So, this is brainstorming sections about advantages. So, this is about online courses. I can underline some important expression here, right? For example, last decade, great increase in number. Online courses available to adults is a good thing, is a great opportunity, or it is less effective than classroom teaching. So we have to brainstorm it first. So the important question is online question advantages or its disadvantages for students or adults? Right. For example, there are a list of advantages that I found, right? I found and I just wrote. You may use these, or you may also develop your own, right, own brainstorming section, your idea. For example, the first one, the advantage of first one of online lesson or online courses is it's a great alternative during pandemic, for example, right? At the moment, we have been experiencing coronavirus pandemic, so online courses or like TV lessons is a great alternative. It's an advantage for us. And number two, online lessons offers you flexible schedule and environment. For example, in the morning you don't feel like having lessons, but you want to do it in the afternoon. Just talk to your teacher. If your teacher is available, you can just make some change about flexible schedule. For example, environment, when you have lessons at home, you prepare your delicious Turkish coffee, put it on your desk, also on your laptop. It's a really comfortable environment, right? And next one is lower cost and debt. Of course, it is not only for online lessons, but online courses. If you want to get online lessons from famous universities around the world, actually you pay less money. And the next one is self-discipline and responsibility. So during this online course, you can discipline yourself. Also, you will increase your awareness of your own responsibility, right? So, for example, at the moment you are studying at home, and it is for you to discipline yourself, right? We are teaching for hours, or maybe 6 hours, 10 hours a day, but it is just up to you. Just discipline yourself, program your life, and your own also, right? Your responsibility is a very important issue. And the last one is comfort, right? For example, I am teaching in the studio at the moment, right? But now you are at home and in front of your TV, maybe laptop or even mobile phone on your balcony, enjoying the beautiful sunshine. It is an extreme comfort for you. So these are the advantages. Of course, there are more advantages, maybe tons of advantages of online courses. It is up to you to go ahead and develop, right? Develop. If you like my brainstorming section of advantages, feel free to use it. If you think you know better, nice, right, or more creative advantages, of course, you can develop and add it here and use it in your, right, body paragraphs, of course. And for example, this is disadvantages. There's a typo. I want to show you this is not advantages, it's disadvantages, right? So, ineffective student-teacher interaction, right? This is a problem, ineffective student-teacher interaction. It is not effective sometimes. Some people believe it is not that effective because in traditional, how can I say it, in-class programs, you go to the teacher's office, ask your questions, also even you may send a message to your teacher at school, you can meet, you can have a kind of group discussion, maybe, right, one-to-one discussion with your teacher. So some people believe it's ineffective because there is no interaction, right? We are remotely, right, connected and having lessons. This is a disadvantage. And a feedback after lessons, for example. Just because online lessons, the capacity is very, very huge. So maybe your teacher, right, doesn't have enough time to give feedback because you have to write a report after each homework. So it takes time and it could be slow, some people believe. Also, right, our bingo here is technological problems, right? Some students, for example, they don't have internet at home. Some students, they don't have laptops or computer or even phone. Or some students, they live in a far remote area, so they don't have any internet connection. So this is again another problem. Imagine in your apartment when the electricity is cut, you cannot have lessons because internet is gone automatically. So again, this is disadvantages. Next one is group discussion. Some people believe it's ineffective because in online virtual classroom environment, for example, students, maybe some people believe they don't want to participate, how can I say it, right, motivatedly, right, or they don't want to participate voluntarily. So it's a kind of really, how can I say, it's kind of really ineffective maybe sometimes. And next one, impossible without the internet connection, right? You cannot force everybody to have internet connection at home, right? And it is actually the biggest problem. And so if you don't have internet, so don't think about online courses or online lessons, right? So these are the disadvantages of online lessons, right? You may use this if you know better disadvantages. Of course, you can just go ahead, develop, and add more here. Go ahead. Today, I am going to write you general statement and my thesis statement, and other sections I leave it to you because you should also do some job, right? This is also the advantages of online teaching, right? So I guide you to some, right, to some extent, to some part. Other parts you will do it. I mentioned responsibilities and self-discipline. Use it here, guys. This is my general statement, right? Online lessons and distance education. So in recent years, distance teaching and learning has become increasingly popular among the students, and this trend is perceived differently by learners. So it's better to, when you start your general statement, you're talking about something general, maybe 10 years trend, maybe 5 years trend. So grammar use, look, for example, has become, try to use present perfect tense or present perfect continuous tense, and because this is not something like we do it now, actually, right? In recent years, 10 years, more than a decade. And many students perceive this, believe this, right? They think is a beneficial aid and this kind of help and improvement in learning techniques. Right, learning techniques, while others think that they are not as much effective as classroom teaching learning. So this is my general statement. Some people believe this, but some people believe so. Some people believe it's a disadvantages, but some people believe it's advantages. So what I'm going to do in this essay? So this essay will discuss about the merits and demerits of distance learning or online courses. So as you can see here, in an instruction, right here, they use advantage, disadvantage, right, in a question. So I should not copy these advantage, disadvantage in my first body paragraph, introduction paragraph. So I have to use merit or demerits of distance learning. They said online course, I want to say distance learning. And they said advantages, and I will say merits and demerits, right? So this is in the blue part, as everybody knows, a general statement, and the red part is, as everybody knows, it is thesis statement. So which means this essay will guide you to talk about the advantage, merits, and the demerits of distance learning. So let's go ahead and next bingo, body paragraph 1. Right, first advantage. You can screenshot while you're watching advantages and disadvantages. So you can put this one here, right? And you can use this amazing, beautiful sentences I give you here. Like, for example, there are many advantages to online learning, but one of them is, for example, your first introduction, first body topic sentence is first advantage. So you have the support with examples and with your own experience. And I want to make sure this is an academic and a college essay. Do not include your quite personal information, like, for example, my uncle, my brother. No, try to speak generally, because your essay should address general public, not only your family or your friends. Again, in body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, you can talk about the first disadvantages, right? First disadvantages, and again, body paragraph 3. Alright, body paragraph 1 advantage, body paragraph 2 advantage, and body paragraph 6 disadvantages. This is your job to do. Again, in the conclusion section, you can write your conclusion paragraph. So as you can see, I give a lot of beautiful sentences here on the slide, so you can use one of them. But don't forget, conclusion paragraph includes restatement of your thesis, summary, which you listed in your body paragraph, and your final thought. So this is your opinion anyway. So what do you think? So do you have any recommendation or suggestion for people, right? Should they take online lessons, or they should follow with a traditional classroom teaching? So this is the end almost, and if you have any questions, of course, you can send me an email, alan.w@iskandar.edu.tr. And also yesterday in writing lesson, we did the quite similar things, right? And do not forget to send your homework before tomorrow, which means today, right, to my email. I will say that again, alan.w@iskandar.edu.tr. And I'm expecting everybody's homework today. And I'm going to see you after 10 minutes. We're going to continue with the reading. Bye-bye.